See what you started, Hannah.
God.
Where is it? A carrot once told me she wanted to be a human. She said she didn't want to be plucked from the ground and cleansed of all of the dirt and of her roots, or have to sit amongst the other carrots in some market waiting to be bought, chopped, and eaten in some dinner salad. She wanted to be a human. That way she could walk to the market and see the other vegetables across the large black crated wall she was restricted to, seeing the radishes and the kale and the eggplants she had heard of, seeing a world less familiar to her own. At the time, I empathized for the young bright carrot. Every time. I empathized for the young bright carrot, and upon not knowing what to say, I thanked her for her story, bought my groceries, and left. A few mornings ago, I was reminded of that hopeful carrot as I watched the blueberries laid out for breakfast conversing among themselves. I pondered her desires in my head when something came to me, as most things do, late and unexpected. So I ran to tell the now aged carrot what I felt she needed to know, or maybe what I needed to say. I told her my story. When I was little, I used to play this game where as I woke up, I would pretend I didn't know who or where I was. Opening my eyes, confused and scared, I looked at my estranged room, concluding a messy little girl lived there among her stuffed animals, dirty clothes, and trash. I would walk around my house looking in drawers and cabinets, at the ceramic frogs, foreign coins, and cigar boxes. I judged the Dr. Seuss and Stephen King's books in the hallways, and my brother's video game posters and license plates decorating his walls. I would look in the mirror, examining my clothes, hair, and face, prodding it like a foreign creature. I would even, for humor, freak out when my fat, panting dog would bulldoze into my room in excitement, screaming as though I'd never seen such a monstrosity in my life. I stopped playing at that game, though, partly because it outgrew me, but mostly because I stopped having a sense of ownership to where I lived, losing my connection with the sweet, warm place called home. It was like the cord that streamed that signal was ripped out of the wall socket and thrown under a dusty dresser and forgotten. When my father sent our family off to live with his mother, a part of me stayed with him, a part for my separation, for my disconnection with drawing and writing, for my cracked ideal of my parents' marriage, and for the loss of security. I had spent so long waiting for my daddy to come by and rescue my mom and brother and I, whispering to us everything is going to be okay. But those reunited hugs and kisses never came, so neither did my cozy niche called home. Before now, I pictured home as the place that smelled of familiar foods, that welcomed majestic dance parties in your PJs, and was filled with love, laughter, and shared tears. But now I see how unfair and unrealistic that is. In my head, I made no room for those with divorced parents, those who dealt with abusive companions, or who had to work long, hard hours to get a single plate on their dinner table. For Gisatanamuk and his people, the Wabanaki tribe, who had years of oppression and pain from racism, or Yvonne Fly, a beautiful spoken word poet and book author, who traveled across the world and dealt with culture balance. And for Jim and Jeff, homeless advocates who once lived on the streets. In my mind, they had no safe place to call home. But home can be the bright and beautiful morning breakfast at Knoll Farm when the air is still chilled. Home is when my mom calls from 1,205 miles away to sing the lullaby she wrote, promising her love and friendship. Home can be the feeling you get when you write a spontaneous poem in the middle of the night trying hard not to wake your tent mates. Home is the wave of tranquil emotions that runs through me when the rain pats my tin roof and the tall rosebush scrapes my window. Home can be the warming hugs you adore from the people you only just met 2 weeks ago. Home is the sound of my father's tattoo machine and the smell of sterilizing alcohol. Home can be the loud, comforting silence coming from the graveyard behind the Quaker house you bunk in. Home is when my entire family rolls down our windows in the car, poking our heads out and screaming as loud as we can. Home can be falling asleep with stars in your eyes and droplets of rain dampen your hair and sleeping bag. Home is when my mother chased my brother and me around our darkened house, tickling us until we begged for mercy. And sometimes, when you get comfortable enough, home can be freezing cold showers in an outside bathhouse, or spiders decorating the roof of your tent, or 7-hour-long car rides with 15 strangers while the same songs are played over and over. When I finished my story, the humble carrot smiled and with some confusion asked me why I shared it with her. And in response, I said that I know now the importance of not only living your life day to day, but to then, when you're ready, and with a little nudge, you should tell your story as honestly as possible.
That's everyone, huh?
Yep.
Dang.
Can we graduate?
Can we clap?